Greeting. Thank you. Is it good if I speak in English or you want to speak in Kannada? I can speak in English. English is fine? Yes, sir. Okay. The presentation is in English, so I'll have to translate it. It's okay. Excuse me? Let me begin by saying it is good to be home. And you know why I am saying it's good to be home. This is where I studied 1988 to 90. Okay? And before joining National College, Jayanagar, where my sister also studied, elder sister also studied, she's no more. I studied in National High School, Basangudi. Okay? And I have immense respect for National Education Society and its institutions. The reasons are very simple. Okay? This is the education institute that teaches humility. Okay? None of my classmates, none of my seniors are show-offs. They're all down to earth. You know, my teachers always taught humility. Okay? So, it's not the dress you wear. Of course, you need to be well dressed wherever you go. You need to be presentable. That's only an add-on. As a person, you need to be humble. And this National High School specifically was the school that taught me humility. Okay? Not that I wasn't. I just joined like any other kid. I joined 8th standard and I thought I had these great teachers. Really great teachers. One of my teachers was Professor in National High School. It was Mr. B.R. Chandrasekhar Rao. He was a war veteran. He had fought in India-Pakistan war. He had a bullet injury. He had a plate fitted. He couldn't bend completely. And he used to teach us science. And that's one reason why I have immense respect. And I am sure all of you will grow to be humble professionals. Right? So when Professor Ramesh asked me to address you, I have to make a disclaimer, I have to make a confession that I am in no way expert in career counseling. But just out of the love of this education institute and the great education institute that it is, because it has participated in freedom struggle of the nation. That's important. You understand? We tend to forget our history, and in fact I am a post-independence citizen, right? In that sense, when I was born, we had got independence for nearly 2.5 decades. So it may not be even in our memories. Actually, it was never in our memories. But this institute fought for freedom of the country. That's important. Okay, and I did get to meet the great Dr. H.N. Narasimhaya. National High School, we used to play, like all kids play. We used to play in the front yard, and H.N. used to be there all the time. So you could just walk in and meet him. And he was a true Gandhian. He did not show off. Brilliant man, PhD in science from the UK, very down to earth. That is why I am sure this institute still continues to be down to earth, no show off. Okay, and it's important. You need to have enough confidence that you don't have to show off with branded wear. Okay? So anyway, that was a few words about my beloved National Education Society. And having said that, I'll come to the topic of the day. Let me begin with, I teach at IITs and this is my favorite thing to ask questions. So here's my first question for all you students there. What is your dream? What is your dream career? What do you want to do? Anyone? What do you want to do in life? Any student? Go ahead. I encourage boys to talk because I am telling you, after you get married, you may not get time to talk, you will not get opportunity to talk. Seriously. So, what's your dream career? Have you thought about it? Have you thought about what you want to be? Anyone? Yes, please. You want to be a civil services officer? Very good. Thanks. And you know, being in a policy role like civil services, you can transform the lives of people beyond imagination positively. You can make a great impact to the society. Of course, IAS pays well. IAS pays very well. Okay? And in fact, I wanted to tell you the end, but I'll tell now itself. I urge you not to make one extra paisa of bribe or illegal money beyond what is your salary. If you have talent, there are ways of making money. Corruption is not one of them. If you become any civil services officer, even if you become a BBMP clerk, please don't ask for a bribe. Okay? And BBMP is probably India's most corrupt institution. Right? So, if you want to be in civil services, good. Because the India that I was born to and the India that you were born to is no longer that India. We are much better. Okay? We are a more confident India. We can deliver. And the world knows it. I am not being jingoistic. I am not being jingoistic patriotically. I am not being jingoist with nationalism. No. But I am telling you, the world has changed. Okay? India is better positioned now. Okay? Anyone else? Anyone else among students? Yes, please. Programmer? That's good. That's good. You can create good products that change lives. Okay? For example, UPI, which you all use, I'm sure, is a good product. It's actually a platform. It's not even a product. It's a huge platform. And did it make a difference in lives? Yes or no? Did it make a positive difference? Yes or no? What is the positive difference it made? What is the positive difference UPI made?
Money.
Cashless transactions, yes, very much. What does that mean? Digitalization? Convenience? Huh? Allowed? Time saving, yes. You know what's the biggest impact of UPI? It is reducing black money in the society. It is really, really reducing black money in the society. People were making hundreds of millions of rupees in transactions, small transactions. They were not paying tax. Government exchequer was running short of money. Always we used to have deficit budgets. Now you see how much money GST makes, how much money. Government knows who's collecting money, right? So government, you cannot escape the long arm of law, right? Anyone else? Whatever your career option is, anyone else you want to share? It's not an alpha male class. Just because I said boys should speak, it doesn't mean girls should not speak. Please go ahead. Anyone? If you don't choose your career, somebody will choose a stupid career for you. You understand that? You will be left with nothing. You should choose your career. You should make your career. What I am going to speak is a very tiny list of things that are possible. But you should choose your career. At least stay close to it. If you are 50% close to what you want it to be, that's good enough. Okay? I'll give you my example. I'm an electronics engineer. I got into sales in CDAC, then programming in Infosys, then technical marketing in Wipro. Then I became a head of software pre-sales at Wipro for India markets. And then Avantail, I got into secure product engineering. Yahoo, now after that it was Adobe. I got into product engineering for gaming products. So Wipro, it was internet products. Avontel was security products. Adobe was gaming. Yahoo, I got into engineering operations of huge data centers, right? Asia data centers, budgeting I used to do. Okay, not the management, the budgeting part of it. Okay, and then I got into my own family-owned businesses. I started a fintech. So your preferences change over time. You don't have to stick to what you think now. Okay, don't be restricted because situations change. Okay, to begin with, at least you should have something. To begin with, I'll become an IAS officer, or I'll become a programmer, or I'll become something else. To begin with, at least to begin with, and then depends on what your career offers you, what opportunities you get, right? Then you can choose. And believe me, as you go further in your career, the choices usually increase. Okay? Am I making sense? Is anyone not understanding what I'm talking? Just raise your hands. There's no stupid question. You can ask me any question anytime. Okay? Let's move on. Let's explore some of the things. Is there a slide pointer? So as the teacher introduced, this is my educational background and whatever few accomplishments I have made. I have authored 3 books. I am working on 4th book on digital sovereignty. So I teach at 9 IIMs in India, IIT Jodhpur. I teach or I have taught IIT Bangalore, here in Electronic City. I teach in France. I delivered lectures in Dubai, I delivered lectures in Thailand, delivered lectures to the US audience. So I'm generally associated with education in some way or the other, right? So no, it's already downloaded. It's there. It's downloaded. See, I can see all the slides. So here is what I say. End of this presentation, think for 5 minutes and decide what do you want to begin with. This is not about your lifelong career. It is not like old Japan or people of my grandparents' age where they take up one job and retire in that. It's not like that. The world is no more like that. Okay? The world has never been like that even in my career duration. Things change. So you decide to begin with what you want to do. Okay, here are some ideas. I'm here to give you a few ideas. Okay? Let's begin with arts. Okay? Because you guys have the biggest concern. Is that correct? Okay? So students of arts. If you are good in economics, if you are good in sociology, you have a lot of job opportunities. And you know what's the beauty? The competition is also not so much. Okay? You should be good in economics, you should be good in sociology. History, there are opportunities. There may be fewer in India, there may be more in Europe. Okay? Because Europe is largely into arts. You know, every city in Europe probably has 5 museums at least. So you can become a curator at a museum, you can become an art historian, you can get into art restoration, you can get into many more things. Okay? You can get into arts management, arts auctioning, whole lot of opportunities. That is if you are into history. And you can always become a teacher, come back and teach in National College. That's also there, provided you prove your credentials that you are good enough to teach in this august institution. Make sense? Then, I'll talk about what options you have in each of these streams a little later. You know, every bank has an economist, at least one economist. Did you know that? Here's the deal. I will send out this presentation to the principal. He will get it distributed to you all. So whatever you want to write down, you can note down, but you don't have to copy the entire presentation. I'm going to send it anyway. No big deal. Okay? So banks have economists. Government of India has a chief economist, chief economic advisor, right? And it's not easy to get in there. You will have to have a PhD. If you want to become a chief economist at a bank, you need to have a PhD in economics. And here's the thing, postgraduate level economics, maths is a compulsory subject. You will have to mentally condition yourselves to maths. Okay? Oh no, I am scared of doing math. How many of you are scared of doing maths? Art students, if you are scared of maths, raise your hands. It's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's about 10 students. You know what? I'll tell you something interesting. I was scared of doing programming. You know why? I was an electronics engineer. I'm an electronics engineer. And the only language I had learned in engineering was Fortran, which was mathematics. But I was not confident of programming. But when I got into Infosys, there was no choice. I had to become a programmer. So somebody told me, very simply, if you join army, whatever rank you are still a soldier. If you join a software company, whatever rank you are in, you are still a programmer. So I learned programming. Now I can program in many languages. Java, Python, JavaScript, SQL, whatever. Okay, it really doesn't matter. And you know what? The reality is, it is just a mental block. You think you cannot do it, which is not true. You can do it. I'm talking not about programming. You don't need to do programming, art students. I'm talking about if you're going to do a MA in economics or MA in sociology, even sociology students, mathematics is there. Okay? Don't run away from that. Because I'll tell you what you think is difficult now feels easier later. How many of you have felt second PU was easy after joining BA or BCom or BSc? You're in first year, right? How many of you have thought, yes, it was easy, PUC was easy? How many of you have thought now? Anyone? It is easy now because you are mentally a little more open to it. You are mentally less averse to it. AVERSE I'm talking about. You are mentally less averse to it. You feel it's easier. You know, if I'm asked to do 10th standard exam now or second PU, I won't be so scared as I was then. Because as the brain gets exposed to more and more topics, things become easier. Okay? So, at MA level, if you are asked to do mathematics, you are not going to do calculus, you are not going to do trigonometry, those kind of mathematics. You will do statistics. As economists and as sociologists, you will look at statistics. That's usually the only stream of mathematics that you're going to be exposed to, and that's not difficult. Okay? So discrete mathematics is what you're going to work on, and it's not that difficult. Okay? So be mentally prepared. If you become sociologists, if you become economists, there are immense job opportunities. Okay? Every other university will be wanting someone either as a research assistant or a temporary teacher or a faculty. If you have a PhD, they'll take you as a professor or assistant professor, whatever. Right? You can join think tanks. What are think tanks? Think tanks are independent entities that influence policy making in countries. They'll influence governments. For example, you have Observer Research Foundation. You have many think tanks in the US. Okay, they get government funding, they get private funding. One of the think tanks that is funded in India is Omdiar Network, the guy who founded eBay. He has a think tank. Similarly, George Soros, you are hearing of Hindenburg scam, right now? Hindenburg taking a hit at SEBI and all that. Are you aware? How many of you read newspapers? And you are aware what's happening about Hindenburg, right? So Hindenburg, there is purportedly a connection between Hindenburg and George Soros Foundation, right? So those are negative examples. But positive examples of making difference, there are 3 times. Banks, I talked about it. Banks, of course, there is one chief economist job at the top, but there are so many economics specialists who work at various levels in the bank. Okay? Sociologists may not be in the bank, but economists are there in the bank. There will be abundant positions. So you need to get into those positions. And what applies to banks usually applies to insurance companies, usually applies to non-banking financial companies, usually applies to fintechs. So you will have positions in finance. The world of finance is open to you as well. So art students, don't think commerce students only can get into finance. Art students can also get into finance provided they get into economics. Is that clear? Then, of course, like I said, you can always teach. And you know what's the secret about teaching? Anyone knows what's the secret about teaching? What's the biggest benefit of teaching? Are there teachers here?
We can learn many things.
Of course, we can learn many things. On a personal note, I'll say this. Because I'm always interacting with young students, like, and IIMs also I interact with postgrad students, my brain always stays younger. I will never mentally age as long as I am teaching. I have seen faculty who are 85 coming and teaching at IIMs, and they are as sharp as they can be. Okay? So you will never age mentally as long as you are talking to young people. Right? It's only the hair that becomes grey because you guys don't do assignments. You write strange answers in exams. Those are all fun part of the work. Okay? But that's the beauty of teaching. And if you have a flair for it, go for it. Sociology, again you have government, you have think tanks, you have NGOs. And sociologists also have an advantage. They can get into B2C e-commerce because consumer behavior is a big topic in all e-commerce companies. How can you do market research? How can you do upselling? How can you do cross-selling? Signal interference, I don't know from where. So you can get jobs in Flipkarts, Amazons of the world if you're good in sociology. Because you can get into market research, you can get into consumer behavior analysis. Again, it involves mathematics, statistics to be specific, but you have opportunities. Okay? I'm not here to tell you get a job site, go to a job site, get it, you all know it. You will apply on Naukri.com, you will apply on some other website anyway. But you should understand what lines you can go into. Okay? Research. If you further progress, if you do MA by research, okay, or MS by research in sociology, economics, or whatever area, you will get research opportunities. You can get into research bodies of government. You can get into academia. You can become, you can be running labs in colleges and universities. There are labs, okay? You may not be teaching, but you get into labs. You can run experiments, you can collect data, you can analyze. So there are other opportunities in academia than teaching itself, okay? Publish papers in peer-reviewed journals. So you publish 3 papers, you get a PhD, typically. Okay, in peer-reviewed journals. And peer-reviewed journals is a requirement for European and US PhDs. In India, that's not a requirement. If you can publish 3 papers in a UGC-approved journal, you can get PhD. Okay, assuming you've enrolled for PhD a priori. Guys, I don't think the mic is strong enough to suppress your noise, so request you to remain silent. Okay, if you are doing crosstalk, you can always do PhD later on. You can do your research. Okay. If you are artistically inclined, you can get into design. Okay? There is always requirement for software design, hardware design. So user interface, user experience design, you can get into those sectors. Okay? You learn tools. You learn tools like Balsamiq, BALSAMIQ. It's free to use for non-commercial, I think. So balsamiq.com, BALSAMIQ. Try it out. Try to create buttons, try to create designs, try to create labels, try to do UI design, right? The phone that you use, UI design will be done by professional UI designers. It didn't happen, engineers never made those designs. You got it? The phone would not have been a phone without artists. Do you understand? All the icons that you see in your apps, all the design is done by UI designers, UX designers. So get into that. Get into documentation. Art students can write a lot. And they pass in the exam by writing. Doesn't apply to math guys. Math guys just write some steps and no explanation. If the answer is correct, teacher will give marks. But arts, the lecturer will go through your 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, and so you're good in writing. How many of you think you are good in writing? Raise your hands. Come on, you don't have to be expert. I'm saying good enough. How many of you are good enough in writing? That's a very encouraging number. Okay? So, hey guys, please cut the crosstalk. Okay? If I am spending my time for a common cause, I expect you to follow that. Okay? Every product comes with documentation. Yes or no? I'm not talking about a toothbrush. A toothbrush may not come with documentation. A mosquito coil may not come with documentation. Actually, it comes. On the back side of the packing, there is documentation. So, every product and service requires documentation. You can get into documentation. And that's an easy thing. You don't have to know math. You need to know Word, you need to know PowerPoint, you need to know some UI design tools, you need to know those things, that's it. Basics. And because you are all knowing how to use smartphones, using computer tools is not difficult. How many of you think using computer tools is difficult? Raise your hands. Probably no one. You will do it instinctively. Nobody has to teach you that. Right? Then get into paralegal services. Anybody knows what is paralegal? When a big lawyer goes to court to fight a case, he or she will be supported by a huge team of paralegals. They do all the research related to the case. Was there a precedent? Did somebody else have similar case in some other court, in India, abroad? What was the judgment? What was the position judge took? How did the judge interpret the law? All these things will be researched by the paralegals, and they prepare the dossier, the file, for the lawyer to go and make the case, present the case in front of the judge, present his arguments or her arguments, right? So paralegal is a good option, it pays well. And there are big law firms in India which do paralegal work for foreign lawyers, foreign law firms, okay? And they pay quite well. In today's standards, it's a decent salary. So get into paralegal work. Okay? Is it a good option? Guys, some people at the last bench, they think they're already LLBs, not paralegals, because there are lots of last bench. Please keep quiet, I'm urging you. If you are into history, then you can get into archaeology, you can get into museum business, you can get into art restoration, you can get into art business. You know, auctioning of arts, paintings and alternate assets, they're categorized as alternate assets. That's a big business. It's a really big business with filthy loads of money. So you become art auctioneers. Of course, you can't do it so easily. You'll have to work hard, but there are abundant opportunities abroad for art auctioning professionals, and you get a commission out of it. If an art sells for, say, $10 million, as an art auctioneer, you will get probably 1%, even if you are an employee. Okay? So it's a big money business. You get into art business, art curation, art management, things like that. Happy? Are art students happy? Did you know that there are alternate career opportunities? Are you a little more confident now? Yeah? Right. So students of science and commerce, and I think BCA also you have, right? So I can say BCA also. There are commonalities. First commonality is you will have math. Whether you're BCA, BSc or BCom, you will have math. Okay? That way you already have some advantage. Okay? You are not afraid of math, you know what it is, however tough or easy it is, you know it. And then, if you are in science, you have better understanding of materials, you have better understanding of physics, chemistry, biological sciences, whatever. And because you are exposed to other topics, your career opportunities accordingly increase. Am I making sense? Let's look at what options you have. You know, every Tom, Dick and Harry who comes to this institute will say you become CS. That is always there. Okay? Depends. If you have a flair for it, you can become a CA, you can become a CS. It is a lot of work. Even when you are a practicing CA, you will have a lot of work. Okay, routine work, filing every quarter and things like that. You can do CFA. Okay, Certified Financial Analyst exam. That's separate. You can take. I don't know what are the requirements. Whether you have to complete the degree or before the degree you can do it. I don't know. You check it out. Similarly, you can do CPA, Certified Public Accounts. This is in the US. You can take the exam here, so you can become a CA for US firms. Okay? And you clear professional body examinations like Association of Mutual Funds of India, SEBI, they have some certifications. If you clear those, you can become financial advisors. Okay? Financial advisors are hired by NBFCs, banks, insurance companies, and you will be paid more than an ordinary graduate. You understand that? Because you have done that extra thing. So you can do those certifications, and your career opportunities will improve. And if you are, AMFI certified or certified financial analyst or whatever, your opportunities to work with stockbrokers is good, because you will learn the tricks of stock market. I won't say tricks, maybe it's a wrong word, but you will learn the ropes of stock market. And stock market is always attractive. You know why? Bombay Stock Exchange, the oldest stock exchange in Asia, has consistently delivered 19% compounded annual growth rate year on year on year on year. No other investment category would have given that consistency over a century. 19% interest, 90% earnings every year for over a century is no joke. And you work in stock markets, probably you will come back to this institute and give a grant of $10 million, $100 million. Believe me, I'm not joking. You should learn. Okay? And if you do CIIB kind of exams, anyway you get jobs in banks. Even otherwise you get non-financial jobs in banks like sales and all that. But you can get additional jobs by doing additional certifications. Is that clear? So here is the deal. Stop chilling out, wasting your money and time on your Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, all that stupid shit. I'm not mincing words here. I'm telling you, calling shit as shit. Okay? Stop doing all that. Think of other certifications. Okay? There are many certifications you can do alongside your course. And what will you do? You have 6 hours of classes. How many hours, madam? Every year, every day?
5 to 6.
6 hours maximum? 6 hours maximum? After that, what will you do? You spend 2 hours coming and going, max. 8 hours. What will you do rest of the day? Seeing some stupid reels, somebody is dancing, somebody is prancing. What are you gaining? Na khaya na piya gilas thoda barana. Got it right? You didn't benefit, but you lost your money, you lost your time. So cut all that crap. Okay? I have my daughter sitting here, she is in 12th. Okay, she completed 12th, she'll go to engineering sometime, in 2 months or so. But I'll say the same thing to her. Don't waste your time on social media, it's not going to. If you are on the other side, for example, if you are a product manager at Facebook, of course you will be minting money. But you are on this side, as an audience, you are not gaining anything. Okay? If you are just an audience, you are not gaining anything. If you are a business, advertising on Facebook, advertising on Google, advertising on YouTube, then you may have chance of making money. If you are watching content, nobody gives you money. Instead, they are taking your data and they are pushing you more shoes, more dresses, nothing else. Seriously. And they know where are you going. You came to college, you went home, you went to friend's house, they know your location, they know what all you are doing. Seriously. Social media is the biggest disaster of all times. Right? So do all those exams. Do CIIB, do CFA, do CPA, do all sorts of certifications because you have time now. When you get into jobs, you may not have much time because you will have to work for 9 hours, 8 hours plus 1 hour lunch break, plus you have to travel, so it will be 11 hours. At least you have 3 hours extra now. Make sense? All branches, whether it is BCA, BSc, BCom, BA, pursue further studies if you can afford. Okay, I am not saying borrow loan and study further. It may be difficult. I will not recommend that. If your families can afford your education further, go ahead and study. Put in that effort. You will spend 2 hours, but you are after 2 years, but you will get immense more opportunities. Okay, the more educated you are, the better job prospects usually. After some time it plateaus. Okay, do 5 postdoctoral research, you will still become a faculty. That's all. It plateaus after that. But generally at lower levels, it is proportionate. Am I making sense? How many of you are not understanding the concepts I am talking? Please raise your hands. I am okay to explaining again. Anyone? If you are commerce students, if you are science students, learn a programming language. You can learn Python, you can learn Java, learn top 2 languages, that's all. For now, it is concentrate on 3 languages. It applies to art students also. There are only 3 languages, 4 languages you need to think of. Okay? 4. Java, Python, JavaScript, SQL. Okay? SQL is the easiest. SQL is the easiest. How many of you have not done set theory in your high school? Everyone had set theory? 1-1 function, on-to function, universal set, subset, intersection. How many of you remember that? Right? Thanks. So, SQL is based on set theory. All your database is based on set theory. So, learn SQL and one of the 3 other languages, Java, JavaScript and Python. Whichever you want to learn. My preference, Java, because it's the easiest of the 3. Okay? Python is also easy. In fact, I taught Python this April, May, June in IIM Rohtak. It's easy, but my preference is Java. It's also a lovely, elegant language, right? So SQL, very easy. And you know what? Here is what I tell you. You don't go to any school. Don't spend 1 paisa on learning programming. Don't ever spend 1 paisa on learning programming. Is that clear? All programming courses are available on YouTube. Okay? And very good ones. Listen to 2 or 3 YouTube videos, 3 hours, 4 hours each. Do some exercises they specify. You are good. And you know what? As a programmer, you don't have to score 10 out of 10. If you are good enough to score 6 out of 10, believe me, you have a career, good career. Even today, I will rate myself as maximum 7 in programming. Did I have a good career? Generally decent career I have had. No complaints. So learn. And you know how much money I spent on programming, learning programming in my life? 200 rupees. Probably 100, maybe 200 max. Even those days I used to read books and learn. Today you have better learning, right? YouTube, you have a lot of videos. Not just that. I'll leave you with a few websites where Government of India has put up all these courses for free. Okay? It's there in the slide, I'll show you. How much time do I have? 12:30, right? Oh, I'm almost near that. If you learn Python, you can learn R, you can get into AI programming. Those of you who are interested in programming, science students, math students, you can get into algorithms. Okay? AI algorithms will have a great demand at least for next 5-6 years, 10 years. Then something else happens, your career preference changes, it's okay. You can do something else. Right? But for now, you can do. And commerce students, you have statistics. Right? You have statistics in your subject. You have. So statistics, if you do statistics well, you can get into market research, consumer behavior kind of lines where you will have abundant career opportunities. Okay? Science students have this advantage, and of course math students. You are learning truth. What do I mean by truth? The results will be the same every time you do the same experiment. Yes or no? Isn't that the definition of science? Science is the study of reproducible results. Right? Under the same conditions, same effects, the same results will come out. Right? So, learn programming languages, you get deterministic results. Right? For example, if I log into net banking, I should get my statement, not his statement. And every time I log in, I should get my statement only, not his statement. That is reproducibility. And you can do that, you are better equipped to do that because you are science students. You've been conditioned mentally to do that. Okay? You can become software engineers, and there are options. I'll talk about that. Not only that, you can get into design. Learn tools like Maya. Learn tools like AutoCAD tools. Learn tools like Google SketchUp. Of course, Google SketchUp is no longer there, it's discontinued, but I think you can still download and use it. You can learn 3D design. And design has so many career opportunities. Every product that goes out has to have a designer. For example, this speaker, I'm sure the company would have had a few designers. That phone, the company would have had so many designers. For every phone that comes out in the market, there will be 3 phone designs that have been tried out by the company. They will choose one and release it in the market. Okay? So design is a big opportunity. You can get into design. Is that clear? And you are more equipped because you understand the math. Right? I should design something that is low weight, it doesn't have sharp edges, the temperature should be lower. If you're a science student, you know temperature has to be lower. When I'm playing a game or when I'm watching a video, that should not heat up. The phone should not heat up, right? So you know all those things. Learn scientific techniques to become researchers. You can get into labs, science labs, in colleges, in universities. And then, for all of you, whether you are any undergraduate you can always do MBA. Okay? MBA is good because it widens your career options. People switch lanes. Okay? I've had dentists as my students. I've had medical doctors as my students, MBA students, engineers. I've had people who have run businesses as my students. Very recently, and this is what I love, I had a 22 para SF commando, former commando as my student in MBA. First of all, becoming 22 para SF is practically impossible. You know the black cat, you know the guys who go into special operations in Jammu Kashmir and all those terror prone areas. 22 para SF is the peak anyone can get into in Indian military. And one commando, he hung up his uniform, they call it hanging up their uniform. After his military career, he joined MBA at IIM Rohtak. I was his teacher. Whatever little I taught him, I am honored. I am honored that he was my student. So there is always an MBA option. Okay? Not just at IIMs. Think of IIMs, IITs, they have MBA schools, but you also have schools like NISM. There is a school called National Institute of Securities Markets in Navi Mumbai. And you know what? You graduate from that school, RBI comes and picks you up. SEBI picks you up. You get a job offer before you graduate, campus placement, SEBI, stock exchanges, RBI, banks come and pick from there. I don't think there is even one student in NISM who doesn't get a job unless they have moved up. So get into NISM. Then it has 240 seats every year. Make it. You try it, you may get. If you don't try, you won't get. But if you try, you may get. Who knows? Right? Who knew that I will get into IIM? Who knew I will teach in 9 IIMs? I'm not bragging, but I'm saying I tried, I got it. People didn't try. There may be more capable people than I am. They didn't try, they didn't get it. That's it. Right? And for those of you who are interested in administrative services, civil services, private sector has an equivalent of that also. That is called Tata Administrative Service. So those of you who cannot make into IAS, try TAS. And I think getting into TAS is more difficult than getting into IAS. Okay? Because TAS has, I think, only probably 50-60 seats every year. Tata Administrative Service is very coveted, and there's no comparison. There's absolutely no comparison anywhere on earth for something like Tata Administrative Service. Brilliant guys. They run conglomerates which are 20,000 crores, 100,000 crores, 2 lakh crores, like that. Where will you get that opportunity? Try TAS. Okay? And they have a training academy in Pune for those who get selected. They are trained to be Tata leaders. Okay? And how many of you in this room respect Tata Group? Big number. If I had asked Reliance, I am sure the number would have been different. How many of you respect Reliance Group? See, more people respect Tata Group than Reliance. It's not my opinion, it's what you are saying. I just said number could be different. I didn't want to make a judgment call. Right? So here is the thing. There are those careers which are unimaginable. It's for you to choose. Okay? I'm going to complete quickly because I think there may be next speaker. You know what? Here is the beauty. Government of India offers you scholarships if you join PhD in IITs and IIMs. Some IIMs independently offer. If you join IIT, Triple IIT, you join IITM, those kind of institutes, Government of India at present offers you 70,000 rupees per month during your scholarship. It is almost like a good job. You're being paid to study. When I graduated, there was nothing like this. I had to fund. Right? But government is now much better. It gives you great opportunities to study. Right? Those of you who really want to dream big, and I urge you to dream big, you can do global MBAs. Okay? The institute where I teach, Aix-Marseille University, there is a tri-national MBA program which costs you just 2,000 euros in fee. 2,000 euros in today's money is 1.8 lakhs. 1.8 lakhs in Europe fee for a 2-year MBA. MBA degree you will get from 3 universities. University of Aix-Marseille, you get MBA degree from Turku University in Finland, you get MBA from Netherlands, Tilburg University, Netherlands. 3 universities give you concurrent MBAs, you get work opportunity in all the 3 countries, and with Narendra Modi meeting Macron, okay, 2 countries have agreed, and now Indian students who graduate in France will get 7 years work permit. In 7 years you can become a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, whatever. So you want to give it a shot? This MBA may be cheaper than many MBA programs in Bangalore. You go to a private MBA school, they will charge you 5 lakhs for the pathetic infrastructure they may have. You get 3 MBA degree certificates for studying 2 years. And you know what? It's not a private program. It is run by 3 governments, government of France, government of Netherlands, government of Finland, and it is a public university program recognized worldwide. It is a joint European Union program. Okay? So, the world outside may be cheaper than here. That's also possible. Get it? Even you join private universities, Swedish School of Economics, Schema in Stockholm, Schema in France, they give you scholarship when you are studying, when you are doing your PhD. They give you something like 2,300 euros, you can live a good life. 4 years, they will fund you. In 4 years, you have to complete your PhD. Sometimes 3 years. Usually Europe is 3 years, maximum 4 years. After that, you have to graduate, right? And if you go to Germany for postgrad, all courses are taught in French and they are free, no tuition fee. In India, you may pay tuition fee even if it's government school. In Germany, it's free, even for foreigners, assuming you join a government university. You join a public university, it's free. Okay? So, think big. Think big. Don't have a goal, oh, after this evening I'm going to go to the next bakery, eat something. That is the smallest goal you can have. Have a big goal. Have a big goal that I want to buy this island. Seriously. Right? Governments, civil services, we talked about it. Think tanks, NGOs, we talked about it. If you come from a family of business, if you have an ability to take some risk, you can try entrepreneurship. Try your own idea with some small investment. Don't put all your money. Try out with little money. Put in efforts. Maybe try for 6 months, 1 year. If it doesn't work, pick up a job. No harm in taking up a job later. There's no shame in doing that. Is that clear? If you fail as an entrepreneur, there's no shame. Pick up a job. Okay? Here is what I suggest you all. There are 2 approaches. One, you can become a super specialist. Like I said, you can become a chief economist in a bank. Okay? Or you can do interdisciplinary. For example, you may be an art student. You may become good in video editing. Become a good video editor. Interdisciplinary areas. Bring your strengths. Okay? Whatever you have, you'll have to fight with that. And like Sun Tzu, the famous Chinese philosopher, says, in war, prepare for peace. In peace, prepare for war. And right now, your current situation is peace. As students, you are immune because your parents are taking care of your life. So now prepare for war. Okay? That Sun Tzu philosophy applies to all of us. Right? So, here is what I say. Super specialists make a lot of money. For example, if you are a semiconductor expert, you will be paid like hell in Intel, AMD, and those kind of companies. If you are an interdisciplinary person like I am, you always have job opportunities. You will never run out of job opportunities. Right? Because I understand technology, I understand law, I understand finance. I can work across these 3 areas. Typically in companies, there will be specialists. One finance specialist, one engineering specialist, one legal specialist, or a lawyer, company legal counsel, general counsel. But if you understand all the 3, you are always in demand. So there are advantages to that. Right? I think I'm almost at the end. You have to be skilling yourself day in and day out. Think of what can I learn next. Am I good at creating videos? Am I good at editing videos? Am I good at auditioning? Can I give audio commentary for a product? Can I create a product video? Think about it. It's very easy. Okay? Write documentation. Documentation, people always have market now because every product goes with documentation, and by law in the US there is something called PSDS, product specification data sheet. Every product should go with documentation, which means every company will need a documentation person. So art students who are good at it, get into it. Okay? Here is what I suggest. Don't spend any money on training courses. Even art students, don't spend any money. Anything you want to learn, look for a good YouTube video, learn from that, develop confidence, try out things on your own, and then jump in. Okay?
If you have the word,
this is the slide I was referring to. Government of India has created so many platforms where you can do self-paced learning, right? You can take at your own pace. I suggest you do it rigorously. Not just that, you know what? Those of you who regret having not made into IITs or into engineering, here is your opportunity. IIT Madras runs open programs, Bachelor of Science in Data Science, Bachelor of Science in Electronics. You can enroll. Next batch is starting in September. Go to IIT Madras website. All of you, including art students, can enroll. And you know what is the beauty of this program? Nobody fails. They conduct the exam based on your score. They will tell you how many courses you can take in a year. If you are doing very well in the exam, if you have done very well in the exam, you can take all the courses. If you have not done so well, you can take one course less, two courses less. You can do your IIT, and you know what? After 4 years of completing all the courses, you get a proper bachelor's degree from IIT Madras. An IIT Madras degree is coveted. An IIT degree is coveted. Okay? Are you with me? Including art students, don't have apprehensions. Write the exam. September 15th, I think, is the last day for applying. Apply. Do in BS, do in electronics, do in data science. Like I said, no failure. They will take everyone. Even the worst performing student will be allowed to take one course a year. So do it at your own pace. Get the point? There is no discouraging. In our times, oh, you missed 10 classes, your grade will go down by 10 points. It was that kind of very militaristic thing. Now the government's perspective has changed. Government says everyone has to be educated, which is how it should be. Education should go to people, not the other way. People should not go to education. Education should go to people. Right? We should make education accessible to people. And government says anyone can join IIT, anyone can join IIT. This is your chance. Go for it. Okay? And you have all these courses. More importantly, after you've achieved all this, give yourself publicity. Open an account on LinkedIn. How many of you have LinkedIn accounts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very discouraging in a batch of say 100 here. Go open an account on LinkedIn. Publicize yourself. It is not like WhatsApp, it's not like Facebook. It is not like I went to this restaurant and post. No, it's not that. It is for business. It is for career. So use LinkedIn abundantly. Right? I have written 70 plus articles on LinkedIn just because I want to be recognized as an expert in my area. Okay? You can do it. Anyone can publish on LinkedIn. So go to LinkedIn, sign up. It's free. It's free. It has got a premium subscription also. After 15 years of LinkedIn, I think 10 years of use, I still don't have a premium. I'm a free account holder and I'm using it very well. Okay? Build your network. People should know you are expert. Okay? It's not very difficult. It is not at all very difficult. When a student of humble origins like me can make it into IIMs, you guys are better informed in the current age. You can also make it into IIMs, you can make it into Harvard, you can make it into MIT, you can make it into Yale, you can make it into Sorbonne, wherever, right? So try it, okay? You may or may not make it, that's different. You try it. When you try it, there is a possibility you make it. Okay? And here's a question. How many of you want to dream big? How many of you want to own an island? How many of you want to own a bank? How many of you want to own a bank? One. How many of you want to own a company like Facebook? 2, 3. How many of you want to own a company? 4. How many want to own a company like Microsoft? Okay. So let's say 20 of you among 100, let's say, have dreams, have big dreams. So all of you should dream big. No point in saying, oh, I will join some company in some godforsaken place, travel by bus for 3 hours. What are you achieving in life? Do it big. Okay? I'll leave with a joke. I teach at IIM Amritsar and I asked the driver, इधर पंजाब में चोरियां नहीं होते हैं क्या? Aren't there small petty robberies in Punjab? He said, sir, इधर छोटे कुछ नहीं होता. There is no small time burglary or robbery. Everything is big. So even if it is robbery, it is big. Okay, I'm not saying you get into robbery, but I'm saying think big. Think big. You know, my dream, I want to own a bank. And who knows? Maybe next 10 years I may own a bank. Who knows? Right? Not the cooperative banks that go down every day. No, not those. Really, really good. Maybe an investment bank in Switzerland. Right? So have your dream, big dream. Don't waste your time on social media. And don't waste talking to your neighbors in the class, because your neighbor is as learned as you are. Not too much difference between. Talk to people who come to you, who have some expertise. Learn something. Okay? I think I'll close it now. So, any questions? I'm happy to take. Sorry, I overshot my time by my given duration by a few minutes, and I'm honored to be back home. Like I said, it's my home, it's my alma mater. There's no reason why I should say anything other than that. It's my home. Happy to be back home. Thank you, Professor, for giving me an opportunity. It's been wonderful. I hope it was useful, and I'll send off the presentation. If it's worth it, you can use it. Okay. Will you dream big? Yes, sir.